Nicole, tell us about your content, what people can expect, and where they can find you.
So, hi, my name is Nicole, also known as Girl Bricks a Lot. And I got started on Instagram. And I never intended to be a content creator. It kind of just happened, the typical story. But I try to make funny reels and things that will bring just joy and laughter into people's lives, as corny as that sounds. But we live in a pretty chaotic society with a lot of negatives. And I just found that this was one way that I could contribute something more positive and enjoyable, and something that people would look forward to if they chose to partake in my content. So I started on Instagram, and then now I'm pretty much on every platform there is. But, success across platforms is really difficult. So I tend to really focus on Instagram and Twitch now, which has been a lot of fun. So yeah, it's awesome. A little about me.
Yeah. Your reels always crack me up. I love your Instagram account. I actually remember just seeing one of your reels. It's funny because I don't know how timing works, because the algorithm must have just known, because I saw a reel of yours, and then within like a day or two, I saw you pop up on Amish Ace's stream. So it was kind of like one of those things where I saw you talking to him. I was like, I recognize her from somewhere. What is it from? And then you were talking about Instagram on his stream, and I pulled you up. I was like, I've seen this person. I've already liked some of her reels. What is going on? So,
so funny.
It's so funny how like you kind of like start to run in the same circles and you notice some of the same people. But yeah, your stuff always cracks me up, and the fact that like cemented it when I saw you giving Amish Ace a hard time on his own stream, which was probably one of my favorite moments about like when I first saw you. Was I was like, we were just talking about this before recording the episode. She's giving Amish Ace a lot of crap, which is actually already my kind of person. So
well, that's the beauty of being in your 30s. You just stop caring.
Yeah,
I just don't care. It's a beautiful and yet a scary thing, because it's like, I know I'm cringy, yet I really don't care. It just doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't mean anything different to me at this point. So yeah, when I gave him a hard time, I was like, man, I hope I wasn't like too rough on him. Like I hope he still had a good time.
He, as we were saying earlier, he's cool with not having even if it's not a good time for Amish Ace, it's still a good time for him. So I think you giving him, some trouble there was absolutely what was needed in that moment. But I love you. I love the fact that, like you said, you kind of don't care, which is kind of nice, right? You get to be who you are. You're being yourself when you post those videos. I think that's one of the coolest things about the content that you push out there, is like, you're like, this is just who I am. I love Lego. I love these things. I'm just going to post this video. So
it's just like it's not even trying it. Like when I make a video, it's my life, and it's so scary relatable to people who are either like collectors, not even with Lego, but just in general, either collectors or just nerds. Like being an adult and being a nerd is a very interesting place to be. And so like, I'll notice a lot of the things that I push out, people just get it. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? It's just like not even like trying hard or whatever. And a lot of my reels, like I make in under 10 minutes. Like they're really like, the short form content just comes to me easily.
Yeah.
And I'll usually just be like sitting on my couch and think of something. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go record it really quickly. You know what I mean? So it just comes naturally. So that's why the trajectory of everything got this far.
Yeah.
Because I was just doing what I liked and sharing what I enjoy, and then it just kind of caught on, and I'm grateful for it because I've met a lot of really amazing people like you, the Aubreys I know in Chad, like Fred. Like I've met some really amazing people that I can call lifelong friends just from being a silly idiot on the internet sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's funny how life works like that,
Yeah. You touched on something that really hones in for me, right? Like the fact that you said it's very like you find that it's very relatable, the things that you post, that is spot on. I often, when I see something that shows up on your reels, I'm like, yeah, totally, that's totally me, about collecting. Like you said, it's not even just Lego, it's just being a collector or being into this hobbies like it, or being excited about something, being a nerd about something. And yeah, I think that's what a lot of people, I think, appreciate about your reels and your account, is that yeah, she loves Lego, she loves being a collector, and she's totally cool just like putting out those relatable moments. Yeah, every time I see something, I'm often shaking my head like, yep. I'm nodding along. It's like, yep, like, move on to the next one. Yep.
But the funny thing too, like one of like just from going to conventions now, like I've gone to 2. One of the comments that just I don't know if it doesn't weird me out, but I find interesting is like, oh, you're exactly the same as you are on the internet. Like, what else? What are you talking about?
What else do you want?
Like, what do you mean? Like, it's not an act. Like, I actually am this nuts about my hobby, and the humor that comes along with it it's me. Like, I don't know how you could be different, but it's funny how that happens, because I think with the content creating realm, you get a couple different types of creators. You get the people that do it as work, and it's and it's kind of lost that like luster, and it's lost the joy, and people can tell when you're not having fun making something. And then you have the people who really, really enjoy it, and it shows. And so I can totally understand how you're the same as the internet would come up. It's just, it's funny. Like I haven't run into a situation where someone was different than they were online, because I think a lot of people who make Lego content or just collectors just are naturally like this. Like we're just naturally crazy. And like we just, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I just always thought that was really funny, because that was something that was said to me all the time. And I was like what else would I be like?
What else do you expect here? Yeah, it's interesting that you point that out, because I do agree that sometimes when you meet people in the real world and they kind of get that chance to compare like you in person to Girl Bricks a Lot, the Instagram account, it's like, I think maybe there's that question of like, is that legit? Is that who they really are? And I mean, I think I've been around this stuff long enough to know kind of like, I can kind of like almost sniff that out when it doesn't quite feel legit. But it is, I've had the same thing said to me about like my live stream persona versus Amor the person, which, spoiler alert, there's no real difference. They're the same person. It's just I'm a lot shorter in person, and maybe even a little more awkward. I don't know. But there's not a lot of difference there. And I think that's why I appreciate and relate to the things that you put out there, because I can tell. It's very clear that, oh, this is legitimately how Nicole feels about this thing or about Lego in general. So I love it. I think that's great.
Yeah.
With Lego though, I don't think I know your Lego story, and I would love to hear
How
about
far
like
back do you want to go?
as far back
All the
as
way?
you. Yeah, all the way. Let's go.
All the way? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay. It's funny when I think back on my childhood, I had Lego, but I had like hand me down loose brick. Like my parents never bought me like a Lego set or like brand new, like I got to peel open the bag or whatever they were back then. I didn't have any of that. But it was interesting. I was having a conversation with somebody last week about it. Like I didn't have many toys growing up. I don't know if it had something to do with like my dad growing up after like World War II or like him being an engineer and he's like, you make your own things, or I don't really know like what it was, but I can remember only like a few toys that I had. I had loose Lego bricks, and then I remember I got dinosaurs for Christmas one year, which was freaking awesome. And then I had like some Playmobil. Again, I had a lot of hand-me-down stuff. And I never felt like robbed in any way at the time because I was such like an outdoorsy tomboy kid and I played tons of sports. So I never felt like I was missing out, but also because I didn't know what was really out there at the time.
Yeah.
By the time I got to like, I don't know, I think like 12 or whatever, I think you kind of grow out of it in a lot of ways. Like you either focus on your academics or you do sports. And I did an Olympic sport. So my life was that. So I grew up really quickly.
Mm.
And then, so my dark ages, I don't even know if I really had them. I think I just was permanently in a dark age. I never just stepped away from the hobby because it was never really there. But through my 20s, I was buying Lego sets like as gifts for people, like for kids. Like I would buy like the 3-in-1 and I would build it with the kids, or like I would, buy a set here and there. I actually have a picture with my ex-boyfriend in Chicago with the really big Woody statue. Like I still like I remember taking a Polaroid with it. Like, and I remember playing at the now looking back, like probably nasty, like free build tables that they used to have inside the Lego store.
Yeah.
Like, it was always there, but it was never like, I never accepted it into my life, but I was always nerdy. Like that was always a thing. Like I always gravitated towards fandoms that, the cool kids at school weren't really into. And probably because I was like an only child. I have 2 like older half brothers, but they were like really a lot older.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, when COVID began, I was looking for an activity to do with my partner, and we wanted like a date night. And we just sauntered down the Lego aisle.
Yeah.
And I bought Bruni, which is like, I always have him like everywhere near.
Wow.
Like I bought this because, and I hadn't seen Frozen 2, so I had no clue who this was. I just thought it was cute. But because Lego was so expensive,
Yeah.
I was like, why is this cost so much? After I enjoyed building this, I bought R2-D2 and then it just kind of went along.
And then it spiraled.
It spiraled and continued. And shortly after that, and then I was posting on my stories because my Instagram was my personal account, and I was posting like stories of like the sets that I would buy or like what I was working on. And one of those videos just went viral, and just went from there. But I'm relatively new in the hobby, I guess is like the long story short version.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I don't think it's going to go anywhere at this point. Like, I think it's just probably going to be a permanent fixture forever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's awesome. R2D2 was actually the same one that got me back into Lego.
Really?
Yeah. I saw that it was coming out and I got really excited. I was like, I always wanted like a big Lego set. It'd be really cool to make one. And so that was the one that got me in. Like, I was into Lego as a kid.
In it.
But I got in it like after that as an adult. And like you, it's just been a big part of my life.
So the funny thing was I bought it and then I didn't build it until a month ago.
Really?
I just sat on it. That was my first like backlog set. It just sat like, I was like, oh, I'll build it. Like the thing I always told myself is like, oh, I'll build it when something big happens with the content, you know, like
right.
I hit 1,000 on YouTube or like, you know what I mean? Like I had set and then I was just kind of like, why am I sitting on this set? Like,
yeah,
this is such a cool set.
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing? So it just, about a month ago, I was like, I'm just going to build it, whatever.
That's
Don't
awesome.
care.
I ordered it and then I got the back order email. And then
my God.
And then I was sad. And then in my moment of grief, then ordered the Daily Bugle. And then I'm like, what am I doing? What is happening?
You just spiraled. That was the problem.
It was pretty instant. So I can totally relate. I totally get it.
I mean, the amount of Lego that I bought like the first year was insane. Yeah. I mean, it was insane. And I feel like this year I haven't bought as many sets because I think the excitement has worn off a little. Not the excitement, but like the newness of it has worn off just a little bit. And I don't feel like I need to buy so much anymore. So now I'm a little more thoughtful about what I'm bringing into my house. But
right.
That first year was wild. Like it was like every day I was at a Lego store.
Yeah. I can relate to that. For me, it was very much the same the first year. And like you, now that I'm kind of a couple years into it, I'm a bit more intentional with the things that I buy and choose because I'm like, I don't need all of the sets, or I don't need every big set that comes out. I just want to be very choosy about the things that I decide on. So
yeah. But then the sets I buy are big. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they're not like, I don't buy the little sets as much anymore. I'll buy like the little, like the 3-in-1 if I'm looking for something quick to do. But most of the sets I buy now are huge. Like,
yeah,
it's just, a $300 purchase. So when I go shop, it's a big one.
Yeah.
But it looks very different than it did, a couple years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here. It's kind of nice to know that I think we entered around the same time and like, we're actually at the same point of our like Lego journey. And so
exactly,
it's really interesting because I talk to longtime AFOLs, I talk to brand new ones, and I see that, it's just kind of that evolution of where you are and the kind of person you are with Lego over time. And I appreciate that you're kind of in the same place because there are times where I'm like, am I not as excited about it? Or am I just being more picky? Like how am I approaching this?
And then it's picky. And then it's what's the gift with purchase?
Yeah.
Like here's an example. So I received, I don't really know if I can announce it, but I received a product that's compatible with a specific Lego set.
Right.
And it was one of those Lego sets that I wasn't really ready to buy yet. And I told them that I said, I don't have this set and I'm not really like gung-ho to buy it. However, I want this one. Like, do you think we could? And they're like, no, like, let's stick with this one. So they sent me the money to buy that set.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And obviously that's awesome. So you would think that I would go immediately and buy the set, for this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I was watching the tracking of their shipment coming to me and I'm like, oh, well, it's not here yet. Oh, well, it's coming from here, which might take 2 weeks. So let me just see what the gift with purchases will be like.
Yeah.
Let me just ride the gift with purchase wave. And that was a set that I don't have to pay for out of pocket, but I find myself like looking at, what's the gift with purchase, and, can I plan my shopping excursion around it, or like what's in the VIP rewards, or are there double points? What is happening that I can get the most out of my purchase?
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm at right now. And it's a really funny thing. So that delivery just came, like, I think yesterday. It just arrived in my PO box. I haven't checked it yet. But now I'm like, okay, now I have to buy this.
Now you have to get the set.
Like, that gift with purchase. Like, I don't really want that one. Like, so it's like,
I do the same thing now. I find myself checking, like, okay, what is a gift with purchase?
Yeah.
Is double points coming up soon?
Yeah.
Do I need to like wait? Because I can wait, maybe, depending on what's going on. Zach M. Rutledge in the chat is playing that game. Yeah, like if you spend enough time buying Lego, you kind of understand like these things that we're referring to, where like there's a lot of timing things that you can do when getting the Lego to kind of maximize your purchase and your money, as well as like getting those particular gifts with purchase at the right time. So, yeah, I feel like
was sad I missed the Disney 100 one.
Yeah,
I missed it, and I'm mad. And I had to pay like $60, or whoa, that's big thunder, $60 for it.
Yeah,
and that's the price of like not thinking about. I just thought they're gonna have more than enough to get me through the weekend. I don't have to go on this release day.
Yeah,
and it sold out the same day. And I talked to the store, and they're like, yeah, we only got 30.
30. Yeah, and then they're gone.
They're
instantly.
Gone.
Yeah.
And like, it might come back, but I don't want to take that risk. Like, yeah. And then, or you do take the risk and you buy it off eBay, you get completely, screwed. And then they re-release it, like the Bionicle set. Like they just re-release it. I was like,
yeah, actually,
so much for that at Brick World. Like, I played so much for Brick World.
Yeah, I missed the Bionicle set the first time, and I saw that it was back, and I was like, okay, well, it worked out in my favor, but I feel bad. Like, I was like, I feel bad for the people, because like you, I had a couple friends who were really wanting it, and they were doing everything they could to make sure that they got it. And then I was like, here I come along knowing that it's back, and now I can just go get it now, because I was going to plan some purchases anyway around that. So, like, funny how that it's a whole thing. It affects your buying habits.
It does.
It's a whole thing.
It does. Yeah, it definitely does. But yeah, I've learned to not get too upset when things like that happen, because what's the point? Like, this is meant to be fun, and things like gift with purchases, or like the sets themselves, are intended to be a therapeutic release from reality. So like, if that starts becoming not fun, then why do I still do it? You know what I mean? So that's why I just, like, the minute it becomes unbearable for me, or the minute I find myself getting frustrated about the thing that I love, then it's time to stop and rethink, like, is this how I want to spend my time? Because although it's not my full-time job, I have a full-time job, it takes up quite a bit of time. I want to enjoy my hobbies as much as I can. And like I said earlier, people can tell when you're not feeling it, like they can just tell immediately. So
when you were first getting into Lego, was there a moment where you realized, like, yeah, I'm like really all in on this? Was there like kind of a magic moment where you're like, oh yeah, I'm super into this now?
I think it took external things to realize
Other
that it
people
was-
to tell you?
yeah, like Thanksgiving of the year that I got into it. Every Thanksgiving I get together with like my high school friends, and
Yeah.
they're all like, to give you like a rundown of my high school friends, they, one of them was valedictorian, the second one was almost. They all went to Yale, Princeton, Harvard. Like they're very smart. They will solve every problem on earth. Like they're extremely, extremely intelligent people.
Uh-huh.
Every single one of them. We were sitting in a brewery like we do every year, and they're all like, Nicole, Nicole,
What are you doing?
what's happening here? Is this a STEM thing? Like, what is this? And I'm like, I like it. And and they're like, because it was my personal account. Like I didn't have a personal Instagram until maybe 2 weeks ago. So, it became that. And then, that was phase one where I was like, okay, now like people are starting to think this is weird. And then, my parents visited that Christmas, and my dad was like, whoa, what's happening here? And I'm like, oh, those are my investments. He's like, so like that got weird. And then I just ran out of space. Like I just, my shelves got packed. Like now I find myself like dismantling, like as I build something, like one of the, I call them my ladies. One of my ladies has to go. Like I have to put her in a bag and like put her into storage until either, I rehome it to someone who will appreciate it, or until I'm, maybe I want to rebuild it at some point.
Yeah.
But definitely when like space became an issue, I was like, okay, like I'm firmly in this. And let me tell you, it happened very quickly.
Right.
It wasn't like a slow burn, like
It was just quick.
it was quick. Like I had to buy shelves immediately because it started like TV like set. Like there was like it was coming into our house like in a way that was jarring. Like kitchen table, like modular, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I need a space to put all of these, otherwise this is going to get very interesting very quickly. I need to like whatever the word is. I need to put it in a compartment.
Yeah.
Like leave it in one area of my house, and the rest of my house needs to be like somewhat of an adult experience.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
that makes me think of your Titanic posts that you did not too long ago, where you're like, oh yeah, I had a Titanic in my trunk, right?
In the trunk. So I wanted that set since it came out. Like I was there at 5 a.m. It sold out. For months I was like, I'm gonna do it. And then I just changed my mind, or I was like, I'll get it later, or I'll use points. But I ended up using all of my points for the Falcon. And like, just time went by and I was like, it's not really a thing. And then the price increase was about to happen and I still didn't buy it. So I was like, I'll get it at some point before it retires. Like, of course, this whole Titanic submarine thing had to happen.
Yeah.
Because like, and that's the time that the Titanic became available. I don't know why. But
odd.
But the Boston Brick, which is the store near me that I get a lot of my sets from, or retired sets from, I should say, had one. I was like, save it for me. They thought I was kidding, but I showed up there and I was like, where is it? They're like, we thought you were kidding. So they take it down. We break it apart. We load it into the trunk, and my parents are visiting. And my dad is like bored because he's retired, and so he's like looking to clean my car. I'm keeping my car locked so he can't get in there. Mind you, he used to own a car wash. Like this was his retirement project, was to own a car wash, which is like not retirement, it's working.
Yeah.
But that was his thing. And so he's like has this thing about cleaning cars. So he went to get in my car. I'm like, nope, kept it locked. Days that Titanic rolled around the back seat. Like I was braking, the thing was smacked. I could hear it.
Oh my God.
but I couldn't bring myself to bring it into the house.
Yeah.
I didn't want to like I didn't want him to be like, where are you going to put that? I didn't want to go through that.
Yeah.
Where are you going to put this?
Yeah.
So one night when everyone was sleeping, 1:30 in the morning, I threw it into a box. I put some packing tape on it. Threw a label on it. And it just says like files. And I'll get to it when they leave.
That's so wow. I love this story. Just like I just remember seeing the pictures on Instagram, but the context is just amazing.
It was bad. It was like, it was just, you know, I was like, I go to the beach every day. So, you know, like there's towels, like there's all sorts of Target runs. There's Celsius floating
and
around.
You just have
there,
a Titanic set sitting in your trunk. It's fine.
And I went back to Boston Brick like a few days later and he's like, why is that still in your car? I'm like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
This isn't your problem.
It's like,
I'm gonna do what I want with it. It's my set.
Do what I want. Right now, the trunk set is because there's always a trunk set. Right now, it's an NBA court, like Lego court.
Oh my god!
And a SpongeBob's back there, so like it's always something back there.
I want that to be a regular thing in your content, like pipeline.
I think it's going to start becoming like a regular thing of like what Lego set
what's the
hiding
trunk
in
set?
my trunk.
What's the current trunk set for Nicole?
There's always one, mind you, because I'm always on Facebook Marketplace or like whatever. That could be content in and of itself.
Yeah,
you're right.
That's amazing. So it took these external factors of your friends and your family asking you about Lego, and then you realizing you're running out of space, and then that was kind of the aha moment of like, yeah, this is a thing.
This is an issue.
This is an issue.
I mean, it's nowhere near. I mean, I've seen some people's situations, and like I can objectively say it's nowhere near that bad.
Yeah.
It's not a hoarding situation. It's very organized, but it is a situation.
Yeah.
Nonetheless. So.
Trunk set of the week says Southern Uncomfort.
Can you imagine? That's gonna be a segment. Seriously.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm gonna support that the moment I see it. I'll be sharing those posts once they hit. So
absolutely.
You mentioned that, you know, you had some posts go viral and that just kind of became a thing for you, much like Lego itself, for you having that moment of like, hey, this is now a thing I'm doing. Was there kind of a same moment when it came to you, like your Instagram or your content that you were posting, where you're like, oh, this is just now a thing for me?
Yeah, it was it was an old Greg reel. So, and I'm telling you, that thing reached the depths of the internet because my mom saw it, and her algorithm is like Filipino pageants. Like, I don't even know how it ended up there. Like, we are not on the same algorithm wavelength, but even she saw it. Yeah, I mean, I had posted I posted reels before that, and they did pretty well. I guess people thought it was funny, and then that one went viral, and I kept posting what I was posting before that, which was like all the ideas and just showing my day to day.
Yeah.
And it just organically became what it is today. Even right now, it's like very little has changed other than like, I guess like people recognize me a little more now, like based on my content. Like I think that's the only thing that's changed. But other than that, like when I decided that I was going to post really nerdy, like my true identity, as I say it is, that was the point in time where I just kind of accepted that it was going to take over my account. And it wasn't until like a month ago, or maybe 2 months ago, whenever my Callie Brick episode was, where he was like, you need to detach the personal stuff from here. Like you need to like, go do the scrub of like some of the older stuff, because, this is firmly a Lego account now. Like there's no, going back. But it's funny because like I'm known for posting Lego content, but before Lego, I was into comics and sideshow statues and like collecting all sorts of stuff, like Ninja Turtles, Transformer, like all these different things. And I would love to like expand on those, but I think, I'm firmly in like the Lego zone right now. Like, right. and I'm not mad about it. I enjoy it because every like day is something different. You know what I mean? Like I can wake up and like see something new with the hobby that I didn't see before. Whereas like with sideshow stuff, it's like, okay, here's a statue. Like this is what it is. I just bought it. I unboxed it. And here it sits and gathers dust. With Lego, like I can find a new way to modify it. I can make a mock if there's something that I don't want. Like there's all sorts of stuff that I can do differently with it day to day and make it exciting. But the problem I'm having now with my content is like, it's like the Zoolander staring into a puddle, like the who am I moment. Like, I can't tell you like how many times I'm like in the shower and I'm like, what do I want to do now? Like, because I recognize that I don't consume as much of like the content I used to make. Like I consume what I make basically, or I'll like try to do something different based on what I like. Like, I guess the way to put it is I don't want to put something out that I wouldn't enjoy watching if it came on my feed.
Yeah.
And I'm very particular about like what my algorithm shows me. Like a lot of the videos I enjoy are the types of videos that I end up posting later, or I relate to Lego or a nerdum in some kind of way. The thing that I'm having a trouble with right now is like, everyone, especially with Instagram, this mainly applies to Instagram. It's like the trending audios, right? Like these trending audios, you take the audio, you do your take on it, and like, there'll be 200,000 reels that do the same thing, right? I don't enjoy that anymore. Like, I don't enjoy doing that kind of stuff anymore, and I don't enjoy watching it. Like, I'll scroll right by it, even if it's Lego related. I go right by it now. Like, I just don't enjoy that kind of content. And so it's like morphing what I would enjoy watching into my own stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the tough part. And then it's like, do I want to be like a meme account where I constantly make fun of myself because people tend to enjoy when I make fun of myself? Or do I want to offer something a little more? Or do I want to do like a little bit of all the things, right? Like, do I want to have like a funny reel every now and then? Do I want to have like an educational, like, this is a cool thing I learned about Lego, or this is a retired set you don't see every day kind of thing. Like I did a Grievous one. What is it that I want to put out there? Because one thing that I've like thought about in my existential crisis I'm having right now is how, like, what is the lifespan of a content creator, right? Like, how long is it cute to do this, right? And like, how long is it cute to get up there and, dance like an idiot, or like, like, this is my Lego set, or like, this is how much money I spent. Like, how cute is it to do that? Like, is that going to translate well when I'm 65 and I'm sitting here being like, with my knee replacement, showing my freaking Grievous? Like, how how far does this go? Like how long can you ride this wave? And if you truly enjoy something, how can you make what you're doing translate across like the decades of your life, right?
Yeah.
It's like a deep thought kind of thing. And this is what's going on in my head. And this is why I haven't pumped out as much. Aubrey says it might be better when you're 65. Actually, I don't know. Like, she's got a point. but it's like, it's this is why I haven't pumped out as much content, because I'm trying to like brainstorm like what is like, not to sound like big deal, but like what's the mark that I want to leave, or like what's, like what do I want to like, contribute. And I think maybe this started occurring when I went to like Atlanta and I was seeing all these like amazing mock builders, and Chicago, like seeing all these amazing people creating like insanely amazing things. They don't make content, like they don't, or they do, but like, what is it that I want to contribute? Because, my 85-year-old myself as a grandma,
Mima Nicole.
Mima Nicole coming into reality. I mean, she's already here, but like Mima Nicole, like trying to like read the directions of a Lego set. And so I'm just trying to think about like how do I like make that kind of content like timeless, or like how do I contribute something that's like helpful and timeless and yet enjoyable, and all the same things that I enjoy to do, like make people smile and all that stuff. So
thank you for sharing.
I hope I'm not boring.
You're not boring me at all. Like I think this is incredibly fascinating. I apologize if I'm coming off as I'm not bored at all. I'm just
okay. I'm just listening. am I going like too? When you let us talk, right? Like you know what I mean? It's just it's like because especially, and I don't love going here, but especially for women, like our lifespan in front of the camera is like very short. Like it's just like it doesn't get received very well for very long. Like you can be like a 50-year-old guy and it's still cute, but like for us, like it's the things about aging and what women are expected to do in society and how we're expected to be, and like all that stuff is still there. So it's like, I think about all that stuff as I age, and I'm like, how can I make this something that I enjoy for 0 to 99 instead of like a finite period of time? And so it's just been me like focusing on like building my own things more, or like trying to think about content that's going to like translate pretty well across. It's just bizarre.
No, I really do appreciate this, because I think this is something that I think it's worth going there, because honestly, you're right. Like the life of a content creator is very like doing content is a very small window for most people who do it. They don't stay in it. Like it's rare to find someone doing it for more than a few years. And then, like you said, like being a woman in the space also affects that, also drastically can make that window even smaller. I have mad respect for the fact that you are thinking about that and kind of being self-aware, knowing that you're like, okay, well, where do I take this whole thing now? Where do I end up? Because, I've been in the streaming space for like 6, almost 7 years, and that's ancient in Twitch years. Like I am like the Twitch elder. Compared to some of the folks who are coming into the space now. And so I get it. And like you, I've had a lot of those moments where it's like, what do I do? Where do I go? How does this change, given that I'm in a different place than I was when I started? Because like you, I have the same thought. It's like, is this really what I want to leave like behind? Is this the thing that when people go back and find a video of Amor like 5 years ago, is this what I want? Is this what I want people to find?
No one's talking about it. You know what I mean? So I feel insane bringing it up, but I'm like, if I'm going to bring it up anywhere, I'd bring it up with you, because I feel like I listened to you and Brian like hashing out his little existential crisis last week. And like, you know, he's feeling like, you know, lost and like trying to find his way. And like, I was like, this would be an interesting conversation to bring up with Amore. Like, you know, what is the lifespan of a content creator, and what does that look like? And how do you not stay relevant? Because I think staying relevant's a lot easier than like staying like, trying to find the word, like, I don't know, it's useful, like make it so that your content can be enjoyed for years to come.
Right.
Relevancy is like, do people still enjoy it? Or,
I like
you know
to see it as evergreen, right? Like evergreen is kind of what's used in this space, trying to find things that last beyond a particular period of time. And I think that you are focusing the energy in the right place is, and you know, I don't have a magic bullet, no one does, but I think that you're definitely in the right like headspace to be thinking about that, especially, you know, doing it for a few years at this point, you're kind of due. And then, you know, talking to Brian last week, he's well overdue, and he's probably done this a couple times, but now it's almost cyclical, because I've you know, I don't make Instagram content on the regular like you do, but one parallel of the streaming space with Instagram is that, as time goes on, you're trying to figure out what you're still doing, because who you are going into that whole thing is always going to change every couple of years. You know, whether it's what you're interested in consuming, like you said, or the things that you want to create for, like your taste will change or evolve. And so I've been known as a different streamer in like 3 or 4 different like Twitch communities, you know? And so I think it's fascinating that you're there. My only input is that you will find that. I don't know what that answer will be, but I think you are on the right track. Much like I said to Brian, like, I'm like, Brian, I don't have the answer here.
I don't have the answer, but if you're thinking about it, you're already partially there.
Yeah.
Right. And the other one that someone said to me the other day was, trying to think how to phrase this without it sounding like dramatic, but it's not dramatic at all. It's just, it just is what it is. Between like the mock building community, like the lugs, and then the content creators, there's this basic belief that the two worlds can't mesh, right? Like they can't mesh. So like me going to Atlanta as a content creator, well, I really went as a fan. Like I still, it's hard for me to put myself in this content creating realm just because I'm just sharing what I like to do. And I don't look at that as like creating content, but it is. It just is. Like that's the title of what I'm doing. I don't look at it like that, like everything is content, but going to Atlanta and seeing all of these amazing builds and meeting people that don't post like the funny reels or like the stuff on Instagram or like YouTube. Like I'm meeting like people who just enjoy the Lego for themselves and do not really share that love publicly, or don't feel like they need to. Just having those conversations and then feeling like I don't feel comfortable posting like people's builds as my reels. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want to make a reel like my friend Aubrey made a reef. Like, I don't want to film her reel and make that as content because that's not mine. That's like her job to do.
Yep.
So it was like trying to find this respectful line between content creating and the hobby, because that respect isn't always there.
Right.
And then going to Chicago, I brought a build and I displayed with a lug. And one of the things that was said was like, she can't be a builder because she's a content creator, or don't like have a content creator there because the two worlds don't mesh. Like one of the things that I've focused on a lot, I would say this year, especially meeting people in person, has been having conversations with people who aren't content creators.
Yeah.
Or people that are actually like doing something that's a job within Lego, or like a builder or a designer, or like does engineering or something, like having these conversations with people that aren't generally content creators.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's the way that I'm going to extend this hobby in my life, is just by genuinely doing things, not always for content, but like for me. And so I don't believe that there's like that a content creator can't be a mock builder and then a mock builder can't be a content creator. I don't think that that's even a thing. I think that a mock builder going into content creation is a little more of a easier move than a content creator going into the mock world, because, you know, taking a life that's so public and then trying to intertwine it with something that's like very personal, like deeply personal, can be a really difficult thing to come into. It's just having those conversations, because I hear it time and time again, like the two worlds can't be a thing, but I know plenty of people that make it their thing. Like Moktura Aubrey, like she's a perfect example. Like she's a phenomenal builder, and yet she also does content creation. Like,
yeah,
they can go. So I'm just trying to think like, how do I have these conversations with people that aren't necessarily just doing content creation? Because it's about learning like how you can be a part of the community that's not just all about like showing off what you have, but like just enjoying the hobby for what it is, which is creativity and building and engineering and like all that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So
I really love that. I think that you point out something that's really wonderful, in that it's recognizing like the love for the hobby, embracing the things that make the hobby fun and interesting, and that it doesn't have to exist. Like it can perfectly exist on its own, but it can also overlap with the things that you do as sharing your love for it publicly. And I've seen that too, what you refer to, the whole, there's kind of this weird distinction between people who are kind of on the, I'm a pure hobbyist, I love to build things, I'm not really into sharing it on social media. And then the people who are, I am on social media, I'm sharing my love for Lego, which both are valid, both are, there's absolutely like amazing things about both, but it's kind of sometimes hard to live in both of those worlds because you're not quite fitting in with one side of it. And then it creates kind of this weird dynamic where people begin to wonder like, oh, are you just posting to like get the internet karma points, you know, or do you love do you love it? Like,
and content creators can be better about like that anyways. Like, I mean, I have a real issue with like people just posting other people's work without like giving credit to where credit is due, especially if like a mock builder is on social media and just has a smaller following. Like, you know what I mean? Like I've seen situations where, you know, accounts just their entire existence is posting mock builders' work and not giving credit. And it's, I find icky like taking a video of someone's work and posting it on my account unless I tag them as a creator, or unless like I'll put it in my story, which is different. Like if I put something on my story and I tag them, like that's perfect because I don't make any money off of it. I don't get any views, or my algorithm doesn't get like affected by something that's happening in my story. So that's like one way to do it. But like, I think like content creators in general can just be better about that. And that might be part of like the divide, like that contributes to the divide, because, you know, if I'm good at making content, I shouldn't really be stealing that spotlight from you.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. It's like I'm trying to be a better like a better public person,
Right.
a better content creator, like just a better person.
Yeah.
And just understand like the etiquette points between the two worlds, because they are two different worlds. You just have to like have a decent understanding of both of them so that you don't like go into a zone where, everyone's feeling hurt or disrespected, or like, that you're proving their point as a content creator and like being this obnoxious, like hype beast type of personality that's like, oh, I saw the largest like Lord of the Rings tower. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I think that's like
I appreciate.
There's so many dynamics to my struggle.
No, and I think that it's really, really wise of you to be like thinking about the various aspects of it, because honestly, the more I think about the hobby and I think about just loving Lego, the thought has crossed my mind is like, how do you share these awesome creations by people but not overstep those bounds? Because I've had those moments where I see a mock, I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Like, how do I like definitely share it with credit, of course, but like I don't want to overstep any bounds. I don't want to be like farming, likes and things like that. That's not why I want to do it. I just want to get word out, right? And I don't want I actually have a similar almost struggle with crossing the streams, right? Because it's like I want to do this to have good discussions and kind of share those stories of the people I talk to. But I know there's that weird division where people are like, oh, is it more just clout farming, like trying to like get in front of people because he has all these guests. And I've had someone say that before. And it's like,
but you can tell the difference between the podcasts that have, high, like, hard hitting guests on versus like the podcasts that want discussion. You know what I mean? Like you can easily tell the difference just based on the behavior after. Like after the podcast is done, like what are they posting? Like what kind of highlights are they posting? Like, like I don't know how to explain it, but you can tell which podcasts are clout based and which podcasts are more of like an informed discussion type of thing. Like I always like, I knew your podcast only from like a month ago because that was about the time that I joined Twitch. But I always felt like Callie Brick was a really good one. Like,
oh yeah,
they had some like heavy hitting guests, but the discussions were very interesting and dynamic, and it felt differently, right? Like those podcasts feel differently. You can tell. And like, it doesn't take a brainiac to know, like, you're not just fishing for that stuff, because why would you spend, a few hours of your time doing this if that was all that you were after, and I also think that you would talk about yourself a lot more if that was the case, know. These are they tend to, I mean, I've never talked this much on a podcast ever. So you're spending time getting to know the people on the other side. And that's not a clout thing. Like that's genuinely like this conversation you couldn't have on a lot of podcasts, Yeah. Like, so people will say what they say. Like for instance, I posted a reel on Grievous. Like I posted I just got like this retired set. I was like, oh, like, I mean, I've done voiceover reels before, like no big deal. And I got a message from someone. They said, oh, someone contacted me and told me that this was the exact same format of my reel. I didn't even realize I did it. I really didn't. And so I said back, I'm like, hey, dude, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't even know. Like, I'll try to do something different. And then I had like the female breakdown. I was like, wait, no. But actually you do this differently and you do this differently. And right. Like, all content creation isn't owned by like one particular person.
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
we're all like doing the same thing in some type of way. Like, and that's why I was so sick of the trending audios.
Right.
They were all the same.
Yeah.
Like the one that's like, this is what $0 looks like. Like everyone did the same thing. Like that's what comes with, you know, a platform like TikTok or Instagram. You're just going to get the same thing over and over again. So you might as well try to do it different, but no one owns, you know, a particular type of content.
No one has, like they can't claim that specifically.
They can't claim it, the format. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like, everyone's going to have some type of complaint and whatever. I would swear, but you know, never mind them. Like,
I mean, you're welcome to if it'll make you feel good at this moment.
No.
Okay. I just wanted to give you the option.
It's okay.
I had a moment like that with Rob.
Yeah.
He stopped. He's like, can I swear? I was like, go for it.
Yeah. I mean, fuck them. Like,
there it is. There it is. Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just like at some point, it's like, how much are you going to let people's like things like get to you? Like, I can't tell you how many times I've had like people say to me like, oh, you're just doing it for clout. I'm like, yeah, sure. That's what I'm doing. I make zero to no money doing this now. So like, yeah, that's totally why I do it.
Yep.
Because I could totally live off what I make off this. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just like,
I'm in the exact same
like,
place.
You have to say that because you get sent Lego sets from Lego. I'm like, I've never once received a Lego set from Lego. Thank you very much. Like,
right. Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing all this too. I mean, it's definitely we definitely do see a lot of, I think, things, especially the longer we do this and the more we get to like reflect and think about what we do here. And I think that certainly that even a couple, like, that's the thing, right? A couple of years in content creation is so much more, I feel like, right? Like, even if you've done it for like a certain amount of time, it's kind of like dog years, right? It's like, like 2 years in content creation is more like 5, you know? So.
Yeah, it really is. And like, if I want to clout, there's so many other things I could do.
Oh yeah.
There's so many other ways that I can make that happen. I mean, I've had jobs in the past that have been like high profile type stuff. And like this is like very like this is very like relaxing for me because it's not that, you know what I mean? It's just I enjoy being here. I enjoy sharing my hobby, and that's all there is to it. And you know, I think Rob, actually speaking of Rob posted something maybe it might have been today or yesterday or whatever. He posted something where it was like, if you say something negative about me and then text it to me, but if you don't have my number, then you don't know me.
Yeah.
Or something ridiculous. And I was like, yeah.
I saw that
know
too.
Me well enough to say anything about it. So go away.
Yeah. I think that's a big part of the armor that we have to build up when we put ourselves out there, right? Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to get those haters, or just like the people who judge you based on what they know about you, which is very little, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, we put a lot of stuff out there, but that doesn't mean they can.
I'm the most public private person there is.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the most public private person. And the thing that cracks me up, and if anyone in the chat like ever has a situation where like someone's just saying something nasty, I always laugh that someone felt the need to take the time to use their thumbs to write that out.
Yeah.
Like,
they got so mad.
Someone got so annoyed with you having fun that they had to take their thumbs and
write it all out on the internet and hit post.
Like, you know, Like, you know what's really gonna hurt her feelings?
I'm really gonna show her. Take that, girl,
Phone
Brixla.
chat. It's really gonna hurt her.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what gets me through the day. I'm like,
Yeah.
they those thumbs, they took the time. Like, they wore out their phone more to tell me that.
They wasted that time and energy on something that you were already having fun with and enjoying. So yeah. I mean, joke's on them, right? Like,
Helps my algorithm. So
it helps
thank
your
you.
engagement is engagement. We'll take
That's
it.
another thing. I'll give you guys like a little like a content creating tip. Sometimes I'll like misspell words or like grammatically put wrong things just to
get the reaction. Yeah.
Like the last one that I did, I was like, oh, this will make people laugh. My significant partner. They're like, what does that mean?
I caught that, and I was like, "Oh,
That was on purpose."
Yeah, I did one of those. That was
People are
good.
like, what does that mean? I'm like, oh, now they're thinking.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, that was really good. I stopped for a second. I was like,
but then they sit there and they watch it over again. They're like, wait, what? And then they'll write something like, what is a significant partner? No one knows.
I might have to borrow a page out of your book and just start doing stuff like that because that's so good.
Or I did like, Commander Cody. I did Captain Cody, and people were like, "What? What?" I'm like, yes. Like it's just,
Oh my gosh, context for people that don't know how like Nicole and I sometimes communicate. I asked her for an image to use.
You can put it up. I don't care.
I asked her for an image. Let me find it. For
I might add, we've never met.
We've never talked really. Yeah, we've never really talked. We've never I mean, we've had passing discussions in other people's chats or I've commented on your Instagram reels or posts, but that's it. So I'm like, hey, I need an image so we can promote your episode. No hurry, whenever. And she sends me this picture. And she's making a face. She's kind of looking real goofy, but then also writes "I love Legos" on the picture. She's like, "Here you go."
The worst part's after I sent it, I was like, "Oh wait, he doesn't know me like that."
Oh no! I instantly cackled. I laughed, and then
there was the Bug Ong one too. There was like definitely.
Oh my gosh! There's a couple. I'm gonna pull it up. But one of the best things in that moment was I just decided to use it to kind of go with the joke. So I send her back this, which is really just me putting her picture. And I don't say anything. I just send this back to her.
I was like, oh no. I was like, we've gone too far.
This is how, and I told Nicole this before we started today, that I was like, I knew it was gonna be good when I got this image from you. I was like, we're gonna have some fun chatting, and so I sent this back to her, which is common for me. Anytime I get the picture, I put it together. I'm like, here's what I'll use, and I think you were like, oh no.
I was like. I'm not even mad. Like I half expected. So when I got the tag, so you posted like a whole tag of like all the guests for the month of July.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I knew I was somewhere at the end there, and I was scrolling through, and I'm like, it's gonna be that photo. I know it.
No,
it's totally gonna be that photo. Like.
I wouldn't do that to you, even though it'd be hilarious. I would never do that. I that was more for us to enjoy and laugh about.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
That was one of the funniest things.
Yeah, it was a great exchange. So like that moment of the "I love Legos" little bit of text on top, that's what made me like I had the instant like chuckle at the face, and then I read the I love Legos, and I lost it. I cackled, and I was like, okay, yeah, this will be
Like I
good.
say, like I'm telling you, like a play on words, like people get triggered as heck. Like when Threads was a thing, which is Threads still a thing. I haven't updated Threads in a hot minute. But when Threads was still a thing, my first post was like, "Are those your Legos?" My DMs on Instagram were brutal.
Oh my
Like,
gosh, yeah.
people were like, "Don't you know? I knew you were fake." I'm like, "Yep."
Come on, yeah.
It was hilarious. It was all good. So now every time I go into Moore's chats, I'm always like, "Do you guys like Legos?"
I just laugh. I automatically laugh when I read
Just starts
that.
laughing. I'm like, I know he's read my comment.
Yeah,
I'm not putting it on the screen, but I know he's read it.
yeah. She knows I read it because I just start chuckling like mid sentence of like I'm saying something else. I see it and I start laughing, and then I try to get my thought out, and then I say hi, Nicole.
Then he's like, Nicole's here.
Nicole's here, or I'll
Here
just
comes.
respond with I like Legos. Legos are the best. It's my favorite.
Oh my god.
That's actually Zach M. Rutledge has a tactic with because you can tag your streams with keywords, and he uses Legos as one of his tags because he knows people will either click on it or just people will search for Legos not knowing how to search for it. So for him, it's kind of like a useful thing for him to even do. He was telling me one day he's like, yeah, just add the Legos tag to your streams more. I'm like, really? He's like, oh yeah, it works. It works. It's still great.
Building my Legos.
Building my Legos. So I'll put that in my title.
When but you know, like I'll see like new content creators come on and use like the word Legos, and I never feel compelled to say something because I'm like, oh, they're just really enjoying the hobby. Like, I don't want to make them feel
bad about it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know, because I'm like, there are plenty of other people that will say something. I'll say something if like, you know, something is genuinely wrong. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it takes a lot for me to like put something negative down. It's very rare. But I'll never shame you for saying Legos because I'm just like, who wasn't there?
Yeah.
Who wasn't saying Legos?
Yeah.
You know, at some point in time in the beginning of their journey, like who didn't? Say that?
I mean, yeah.
You know,
I
who doesn't
said
have a mom that says that?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Community tip on Facebook: search Legos because that's where all the gems are hiding from the moms.
Right, because that's what they know it to be. So they're
because if you write Lego, you're gonna have to pay a lot of money. If you write Legos, it's the moms
that's so
selling their
smart.
kids.
That was my mom. That was my mom back in the day selling my Legos. I'm sure there was a literal sign written Legos on the
Legos
table at the garage
free.
sale she threw. Like, yeah. So that's a pro tip. So I think
It's a pro tip. I've gotten a lot of cheap Legos that way.
Zach's gonna try it right now.
Everyone's just completely triggered right now.
You were earlier talking about like how you want to make what you consume on social media, and I don't think I got a good picture of like the things that you like to consume now that you're kind of you've done this a bit. So what kind of things do you like to watch on Insta or other socials?
Well, right now, okay. I've been listening to more like long form podcasts on Lego. So like I've been going back and listening to all the Kelly Brick. This week when you sent me your link, I went back and listened to more like long form, even if it's not Lego related, just life related or like a different dimension in toy realm, I'll listen to.
Yeah.
But for short form content, my
here we go.
I'm gonna send you some of the videos that get recommended to me. But one, I get a lot of shark videos, but that's just my own personal interest, but like, like I right now really enjoy the spliced videos. So like the I'm trying to think of like what's a recent one that I've done. Like Family Feud always gets me like hyped up, like when someone like splices it, or just listening to those answers. Like it's stupid stuff. Like Instagram is my dumb area, right? It's like where I just consume just brain numbing things.
It's like junk food for your brain.
Junk food. Like I am obese off Instagram content. And I will find ways to like apply that kind of stupidity to Lego.
I love it.
And then the other one, like I did like a bird one that was funny. Like I'm just trying to like play around with different types. Like there was one girl that was like, this is what it looks like to swim in Nice, France. And I was like, this is what it looks like to have a backlog. Like just stuff like that lately is what I've been doing instead of just doing like straight like movie audio. Yeah. Because like, frankly, like movie audio just doesn't do very well. And also I'm not a theatrical person. So it takes a really long time for me to like memorize lines. Like I'm not that smart in that respect. But I also really, so I find that if I'm looking for something with a little more like girth and like the educational department, yes, I threw that in there.
Yeah.
In the educational department, I'll go into YouTube, and that's where all like the more like this fig was rare because this, or like this set is like this, or like this is how you fix this kind of problem with a set, or like this is what my moth looks like this is like how I'll go there for that kind of stuff. TikTok, I haven't really been on in a minute. My algorithm there is very weird, and like I don't see many Lego videos, and I don't see anything that I really like there. It's all like, this is what this is your 3 celebrity lookalikes kind of video. I'm just like,
those kind. Yeah.
Like try this filter. And I'm like, I just don't. But now that I'm on Twitch, I'm lurking in on all you guys.
You are.
Most of the time. You guys are generally on in the background because I enjoy with Twitch. I can lock my phone and still listen to it. So when I'm like doing laundry or whatever, I can listen to everybody. So yeah, it's just different. But for Instagram, definitely like the spliced videos lately have been what I enjoy to do, or like, and then I just know when a video is going to pop off. Like it's like, do I do it? That feels kind of cheap. Okay, I'll do it. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like, I kind of like your covering that in terms of, I mean, I prefer those as well. Like the spliced videos. I think those are great. That's actually why Rob cracks me up, because he does a lot of stuff like that.
That one was the one with the train.
Yeah.
I was crying. I thought that was one of the funniest things I've seen in quite some time. Mm-hmm. Like that was the perfect splice.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah. It was really good. Like when I saw that, I'm like, this is going to pop off. Like that's an easy one. That's easily going to pop off.
Yeah. And that's kind of his I think often his style. When I see anything on his feed, it's always, and he talked about it on his episode where he likes to look for things, kind of like you were saying, he's not really even looking at Lego specific things. He's just looking for things that he think it would be fun that he could splice and then turn it into a Rob or a Lego thing. And it's gold. Like
it's gold.
He cracks me up all the time. So,
and I find that the reels also that I spend the most amount of time on don't do well. Like that's just the like whatever. And it's not just reels, it's YouTube videos too. Like on YouTube, I like watching on YouTube like vlog style videos, and it doesn't matter if it's Lego or not. Like one of my favorite YouTubers, she just vlogs trying different things and like spending a night in like a a submarine hotel or like, like all these like weird things that I enjoy those types of videos. But I find that like the videos that I do like vlog style do a lot better than like the ones that are like reviews. And I think that that's just because of what I enjoy consuming, translates into what I enjoy making. Like,
Yep.
there are some reviews that I enjoy making, but like there were some that just took a lot of time and were like, just, they got like no views. And I'm like, the time
Spent is just not
like
there.
I could have made like 25 reels in that and entertained millions. And then like, and Instagram doesn't pay anymore, so get paid zero. But like, I would rather entertain.
You'd rather entertain.
Like, yeah. And then I just don't know how many people like really look at reviews too. Like it's kind of like, it's one of those things where I think once you find a reviewer, you kind of stick to them. Like I tend to stick to like Tiago and Jang when I look at reviews, like, and then Josh builds stuff for like Technic stuff. Other than that, I really don't watch reviews all too often. My watching reviews is when I go to the store and I actually like look at the stuff and like beg the employees to take it out of the case so I can play with it.
No, that's perfect.
So yeah.
I like that though. I think it's really healthy too, to be looking at just things outside of the hobby, outside of the niche, and putting feelers out to see what else is going on outside of the space that we tend to create in a lot. And so,
well, that's the thing, because like by the time it like catches on in the Lego space, it's like everyone's doing it and it's old, you know? So like if you can take something that like, I don't know, like an art creator is doing and like make it Lego, then it just looks better. But I find like a lot of people just do like the voiceovers, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that that's a good like starting point for creation. Like that makes you like used to sitting in front of a camera. Like I look back on like my first reels and I'm like, oof, those are bad. There's no wrong way to do it, but those are a good way to practice. Or like if I'm really feeling like a brain fart coming along, like I'll usually do a voiceover one. I tend to just like, lately it's been splicing and it's been a ton of fun splicing. So
no, I love what I've seen so far, and I think that's a good way to go, and it injects fresh ideas into the whole thing. And I think that I think that's what every community needs over time is getting into, otherwise you'll stagnate. You'll like you said, you'll see the same 5 types of videos repeatedly, and then like,
you know what though, like
past them.
Those splicing ones, mark my words, like 2 months from now those are going to be out, and then it's going to be like a different kind.
It'll be a different thing.
Yeah, so it's like, I'm saying fast. That now, but yeah, it will definitely like change immediately. But original audios do very well. Like if you record yourself doing an audio, it tends to do very, very well. My 2 cents.
Yeah.
Which, it's a couple of years of doing it, but you learn. And then Instagram's views have been bad anyways, like lately for everyone.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's a thankless job or hobby for some people.
Definitely, it definitely is. You've been leaving Twitch up in the background. I wanted to get your thoughts as, someone who's been on Instagram for a while and focused on that side of content. Now that you're consuming some Twitch, you've been streaming on Twitch as well. I want to get your thoughts on the platform as someone who's new to it. What do you think about it?
So, it's funny. Like, well, during COVID, we actually used Twitch to play like, just like my friends and I, we used it to play, what was it called? Jackbox. Like it was just like we just had like a private thing, and like, so that we could like see the screen and like text the things in Discord. So I knew what Twitch was. I just never really used it. but I started on Instagram, and then like 1 year into that, I got into YouTube, and I did YouTube for like a year, and I'm still like on and off on it. But the difference between streaming live on YouTube and streaming on Twitch is like night and day.
Right.
Like it's night and day. I don't know if YouTube just doesn't push their live streams as much, or like, but I was like, but yeah, no, coming over to Twitch has been interesting because it's like the level of community is just, you can feel it so much more than you can on any other platform. Like it's just between like the trolling each other, which I'm learning is like a very common thing, to just, I don't know. I think fun people just use Twitch. Like I genuinely think like the personality type to be on Twitch and stream on Twitch and then even be in the chat is just, it's a certain type of person. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like it's just, you don't find that type of person on YouTube, and you definitely don't find that type of person on Instagram lives or whatever the heck they are.
Yeah.
Like, or even TikTok. But yeah, Aubrey says the Twitch community is top tier. Yes, like 110%. I felt at home on Twitch a lot sooner than I did on Instagram or any other platform. Like it just felt better. And it's saying something because I met Fred and Ace like in Chicago.
Yeah.
And it was like I knew them, even though I'd only been on Twitch for like, what, a couple weeks, 2 weeks maybe. So yeah, the community is just, it's wholesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a family, definitely.
I appreciate the kind words as someone who has made Twitch kind of the main, I think, course, like content that I produce. And it's always fun to hear that perspective from someone who's just been, doing their thing. They do like you do content. You're very familiar with content creation, but you're on other platforms, and Twitch is unlike any of the other platforms because it's built on live engagement and community building versus all these other platforms. There's value in all of them, but it's different in that you post a video, you throw it out into the world, and then it just kind of lives there. And yes, you get comments or you get interaction that way, but it's not in real time. You're not having conversations in real time. And yes, now these platforms are facilitating live streams, but they don't do it the way that I think Twitch found some kind of magical like ability for their platform to really engage with each other. And it's
well, and it's supportive too. I mean, look, you just got rated by somebody, and it's not like, I felt like, well, and I still feel that Twitch is way less like competitive, like me, like never mind you. Like it's, like you said, way more of a community. Like a lot of the other platforms, it's just like you're in it for yourself, and like hope that you meet some good people along the way that you can call your friends outside of the platform. Twitch, it's like everyone feels like a friend. I haven't had, knock on wood, a bad experience, but I mean, I've had a couple. I mean, obviously you're gonna get weirdos. Like that's just like, that comes with the internet. But like, generally, like haven't had anything bad happen, and it feels natural. Like one of my favorite streams that I had on Twitch was I don't know if you knew where I'm going with this, but like it was like 10:30 at night, and I'm like, I'm getting Taco Bell, and then I'm just gonna hang out on Twitch while I eat my Taco Bell. And like, I don't know where this is gonna go, but
I caught part of it.
It's not planned.
I love that. Yeah, those are some of the best ones.
Yeah, I posted on Instagram, and I was like, I'm gonna get Taco Bell, and then I'm gonna go hang out on Twitch. If you want to come in, you can come in. And that was one of my favorite streams.
Yeah.
I don't know if I built Lego even. I don't know if I did anything of importance other than have a mild diabetic heart attack from the Baja Blast. But
Yeah.
that was my favorite. That was my favorite stream today. Like, and I wasn't a what's it, affiliate? I think that's affiliate. I wasn't like anything. Like it was just a hangout, and it was the best. It was one of the get Baja blasted. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
It was the best stream I had to date, like the most fun. And then the other ones, like, you know, people just troll you for fun. Like Brian loves to call me mods. He's not wrong.
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
Yeah. Brian's great.
People build on stream.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of Lego streams don't have building, clearly. That's what we've learned. That's what we've learned about Lego streams.
No. Fred's streams are just singing.
Yeah, it's karaoke, little dancing.
It's karaoke all the time.
Yeah. He had a good karaoke stream. Was it last week? It's hard to remember.
Was it the the early 2000s Usher? The Usher ones? Yeah, that was fantastic.
That was excellent. I'm just glad that you're having a good time on the platform. I'm really glad that you feel welcome, because that's always kind of my like almost barometer of like, okay, how are they going to acclimate to this? Are they going to be cool with like the craziness that is Twitch, or are we never going to see this person again?
That's really how it goes. Like, it's just
that's how it goes.
Well, I learned that, like, I learned the level of crazy it could go to. Like, I just will never forget, like, I raided Brick Shop local.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, should I go in there? And everyone's like, oh, it's chaotic. You'll love it. And he's become one of my favorite people to watch.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite Twitch people to watch. Like, he's just so entertaining. And Brian's a really good one.
Yeah.
So Brian is that's entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, his screams live in my head. Like,
I hear them too. Like,
rent free. Like, no, like, just rent free live in my head. Like, there are just so many good. Oh, locals in here. Hey.
Yeah, locals here.
There's just so many like just awesome streamers. Like, it's such a good community where I haven't felt like, I mean, obviously, like, Instagram doesn't have like a lot of live stuff going on, but on YouTube, like, I can count like one live stream that happens that I enjoy watching.
Yeah.
Twitch has just kind of like filled that void for me. And everyone's just so freaking funny. Like,
there's some hilarious people in the community.
Oh my God.
Like, it's astounding how consistently I'm always just entertained by any one of these streamers in the group. Like,
and most of us are introverts.
Oh yeah.
Do you notice that?
Yeah.
Like, if not all of us are introverts.
Yeah.
Like, I go to a party, I'm in the corner. I don't talk. Like, I hide. Like, on Twitch, I'm like, we're going to get Baja blasted to the moon today. Like,
yeah. It's so true. Yeah. I'm the same way. You know, I'm hanging out by the food table, keeping it real. I'm locking that down. Otherwise, you may not see me. But
nope.
So I hear you. Yeah, no, I love this community. I've said that I've been on Twitch for years. I didn't even find the brick building community until almost 3 years ago, which is crazy. I still sometimes feel like the new guy myself. But before that, I mean, I've had communities I felt like I belonged in, but this one just fit so well, and it was so natural, you know, just meeting a lot of the people. And
I was like, this is where all the Filipinos were hiding.
That's where all the Filipinos are. Yeah.
Had I known, I would have come over here sooner.
Yeah, same here. I found
all my Kababayans were over here. No one said a thing.
I had the same reaction. The first time I went to raid while I was doing Lego, I found AZ Pinoy, and I was
Yeah.
I was like instantly like, oh yeah, no, I'm reading this guy. His name's AZ Pinoy. Like I saw like 5 seconds of his stream. I'm like, well, I'm in. I'm like raid,
Get
went
in.
over there, I hung out. But yeah, and then I met Fred, and then I think I said that to a random, just like Twitch friend. I was like, apparently all the Filipinos are in like the Twitch Lego community. It's like I keep finding more Filipinos. You know, I then met Prophet DNA. I'm like, they're all here. I was like,
You're all here.
I'm finally home, and so it's man, it's great, and so I'm glad we can bring more of you into the fold, because actually I'm seeing we're bringing even more of you Filipinos, Filipino
Oh.
content creators over.
Well, now there's a podcast.
Yes,
Now there's like
hollow
now
time.
hollow time. Now they're all getting together and doing stuff. Like I'm telling you, that would not have happened had like Rob not come over here.
Mm,
You know,
yeah.
and even
Yeah.
in Chicago, he was like, "Wait, you're Filipino?" I was like, "Yeah, you're Filipino." He's like, "Yeah." Like, how do we not know this?
Yeah, I think he
How
told me
did
that
that not come
story.
up?
He told me that.
He was like, "I'm gonna invite you to the plug," and I was like, "What is the plug?"
He told me that too. He's like, hey, are you in the plug yet? I'm like, what? And then I got I think
the
Izzy,
invite.
I think Fred invited me, but like Rob mentioned it offhandedly. I'm like, what, the plug? And the next thing I know, I'm like in an Instagram group. I'm like, oh wow, there's even more of us. There's more of us here.
There was like 18 people in the plug, and I was
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
crazy,
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy. I'm telling you, like the journey that the past 6 months has been, it's, I don't know.
It's been-
It's crazy. The
Well,
past 6
welcome.
months, just learning, finding all these people, but Twitch has been amazing. And you know, with the summer, I'm always super busy. Just generally in the summer, we have like 7 weddings this summer, and
Yeah,
birthdays,
it's always hard.
and my birthdays, and like there's so many things, and family visiting. So like between all of that, it's just hard to like schedule streams.
Yeah.
Come like the end of this month, I'm gonna do the cancer streams, I think, and like, and then that should ease me back into something regular, because I really enjoy it. Like, it doesn't have to be a multi-week thing, but I should show my face around these parts every so often.
I always enjoy having you in chat. I always love having you there. And then when I do get to see you when you're live, I always have a good time. So I
Yeah.
just appreciate having you on here. I've really enjoyed getting to know you over the last couple months, but especially during this conversation. Man, it's been really fun. It's been really fun getting to
It's been fun.
yeah.
I know. I was so excited when you asked me to do crossing the streams, because I was like, oh, that's big time.
Oh
Like,
no.
I was like, he wants me on there. Me?
I
was like,
appreciate
wait,
that.
did we send it to the wrong girl breaks a lot?
Yeah. You're like, are you sure you meant to send this to me?
I was like, I think you spelled my name wrong.
It's so funny. I was telling chat this same story, I think last week. The one time I assumed someone knew what crossing the streams was the one time they didn't know what it was. And I felt like a jerk. I felt like such a jerk. Like, how full of himself is this guy? Just like assuming he. But every time, because for one, I'm honored that you say that about my show, because,
Yeah.
feels very small time to me still. I'm still figuring it all out. I'm still trying to
No.
make it the best I can. So every time I ask someone, I always start with, hey, I'm reaching out to see if you want to be on my show Crossing the Streams. I talk to other creators about their content. I have a whole little thing that I like to say, but I say it tailored for that person. I'm not just copy pasting, but I take the time to say, hey, here's my show. This is what's about. Would you like to join me? The one time, it is literally the one time that I reached out and did not give context. I won't name the person. I was like, hey, so-and-so, would you like to be on Crossing the Stream sometime? Because that would be rad. And I just thought they knew what it was, not because I was full of myself, but they just knew a lot of the same people that I knew. They've been in my stream. So I was like, I'm just going to ask them. And this is like, I won't give the number of episodes, but like, there's been enough episodes where I was like, I feel comfortable asking like this because I know that this is not how I normally ask people. And he said, that sounds awesome. What's crossing the streams?
The fact that he said that's awesome before asking what it is, it's just like, my first question would be like, what is that?
Yeah. And so I was like, oh no, I'm a jerk now. I'm assuming he knows what this is. And so I was like, oh, did I overstep? I'm that guy. And I came across as that guy. I was like, can I even repair this now? Is this?
No.
So I was like, yeah, it's just my podcast. It's my little podcast where I talk to other creators. And here's my spiel because I should have opened with that. And I'm like, And I was like, do I address that? Do I say that? I wasn't trying to be that jerk, assuming you knew what it was. So
that's when I like fuse into the wall. Like that's when you
yeah. No, I
leave.
Yeah, it was like me. I'm like on my phone, and then like I visibly felt my shoulders just go. Oh no, they dropped, and I was like, oh, I effed up.
But you were like, wait, I wasn't done typing.
Yeah, no, I meant to open. No, it's not. Oh. It's not a Ghostbusters podcast. I promise. It's something different. But yeah, I felt myself just sink.
Did they come on?
Yeah, they came on.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, they're like, oh, that sounds really cool. Yeah, I'd love to do it. I'm like, but now I kind of feel like now it's weird.
Now you got that vibe. You know, it's like
yeah,
can't get it out.
Yeah, and
it's like getting sprayed by a skunk. It's like
and now I never assume. I always just open, even if it's someone that is like, surely they know what this is because they've hung out in my stream while I talked about, or they've been at a recording of it, or they've commented on one of the videos. But I'm still going to be like, hey, you want to be on my show? Let me tell you about it first.
This is what it is.
So, but Nicole, this has been an absolute pleasure. I mean, I know we could spend so much more time, but I'm definitely gonna we'll wrap things up here. But first of all, where can people find you on the internet?
So you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. What else is there? Threads. Rest in peace. MySpace, Friendster at Girl Bricks a Lot.
MySpace.
R.I.P. MySpace.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
I know, right?
You can find me everywhere with Girl Bricks a Lot handle. But I'm very active on Instagram, so that's where you can find me most of the time.
Yeah. I really appreciate you. And if anything, this has just made me appreciate you more. So thank you for being on the show that you might have known about.
What he's failing to say is that I was that person.
No, that's not it at all. What is crossing the street? As is customary, I would love to have you close out the show with any final thoughts, advice, wisdom, whatever you like, however you want to close the show. Final words are yours. Thank you again, Nicole, and the floor is yours.
Oh wow, this is a big burden. If you enjoy doing something, continue doing it no matter what, and without holding back in any way, and always try to find joy in the things that bring you peace and happiness.